Okie dokie. So I have just run a stitch around here just to hold it because it's easier to show you. So using your zip foot, you're going to butt your piping and your zip foot up together so that you can actually feel where your piping is. You can't really use those other feet because I've got a really thick product here, which is fast to fuse because I want, or Timtex because I want the base thick. So I'm using my fingers so I can feel where my piping is, and I'm just going to push this up because I've done a row but I haven't done it close enough, really close, and I can you won't be able to see it unfortunately, but I'm kind of pushing it right up to that original row of stitching which is done in white so I can see it and I can get this really, really close. But if you do one row, go around, it holds it so much better, and then you can make sure you're pushing it up hard against that piping. But it is much easier just to sew the binding on the edge and hand stitch it closed. So yeah, I cheated on the other one, but I thought no, I'll do this one with the piping on it because I'd already piped it, and I'm pleased to say that that fits really, really well, so that's good. So just push it up and get it nice and close to that piping, and I can just see my white line of stitching. I'm not going to trim any of this off at this stage because I'm going to show you how I'm going to cheat to do the base. And then just come and get really close to that piping on that edge because I can see my row of stitching is far, far away from it. And then make sure nothing's tucked up. Turn it all around. And if you do it this way, it's much easier to stitch because you can get really close and you can just push everything out of the road, your whole bag. Cool. And go around it again. Make it really strong because this is the base of your bag. Okay? Now, you know how I really cleverly marked this side? I needed to do this side because this is where the zip opening is. So, yeah, that was another intelligent thing for the day, just to make you feel intelligent. So, oh, look. Do you all do that? I do that. We did this in class the other day, and it's just such a common thing to catch that in. I don't need to re-stitch it because it's just my long stitch. I must have caught it when I went round with my long stitch. Gone, done. Right, get all your threads out of the road. This is your bag lining. This is your, got to go onto here as well, okay? So this is your other lining going onto here. But you need right side to right side. So this is my opening. So I'm going to sew my opposite side together like this. So I'm just going to whip down here. This is my side. It's going to be all nice and tidy. It's on the inside. So I'm just going to sew the seam first, okay? So one seam at a time. My clips. So just sew down one side and get rid of that. We can sew across the top now as well because we're not going to be pulling anything out through the top. So we can sew across the top. So do that and do that. So I'm just going to put my number 57 foot back on. Now when you do that, you need to push clear so that your needle positions are in the center. So I'm clearing it. And I've got, oh, I cleared my foot, my 97D foot on. And then clear it so that your needle position's in the center. Now you know if I sew across there, I'm probably not going to be able to push this out really easily. So I'm just going to start here and I'm going to go up and I'm going to go across a couple of stitches and then across and down so I get a better top, or else it's going to be very hard to turn that point through. You know what I mean because I've done it a million times. So I'm going to start down here. I've got to get, how do I get that out of the road? I'll just, yeah, I'll try and keep that out of the road for you. There you go. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to go forward and backwards. I'm going to stop. I'm going to, oh, go up a bit further. I'm going to turn my work on an angle. I'm going to do 2 stitches. Then I'm going to turn. And this time I'm going to back stitch to make it really strong on that corner because I'm going to pull this through and it's very, very firm. Okay. Now when I get to here, I'm going to stop, I'm going to do 2 stitches, and I'm going to back stitch to make it strong. And then I'm going to cut, all right? So I've made that corner strong. So now I'm just going to trim a little bit there and there. Not much. So now I can do the same to my lining. So I'm going to sew my lining. I'm going to go across the top and just a little bit down to one side. Okay. So my seam. Take these out as I go. Sew across my beautiful stay stitching that I did on the wrong side. Man, I must be making you feel really good about yourselves today. Because I'm making all the mistakes for everybody. You'll notice I've got a nice tight small stitch there. Okay, so now you can see here's my bag going together like this, right? So now I'm going to sew these together, leave the opening so I can pull it through, and I'm going to sew across the top. I can do that now. Okay, so do the same as what I did. Oh, I want to put a thingy in, eh? Yeah, hey. I want to put one of these inside my bag. I want it to go in, where do I want it to go in? Can't go inside. One moment please while I think about this. I should have already put that in. That's all right. I'll sew it. I'll somehow stitch it on the other side. I forgot about it. I said I wasn't allowed to forget about it and I forgot about it. It's okay. Right, so go to there. A couple of stitches across because it's thicker. The outside of the bag is thicker. Go all the way across the top. Just reinforce that. That's on the inside. It's not going to be too bad. That's a little bit longer than that one, but that doesn't matter. It's on the inside. No one is going to see. A couple of stitches and then turn. And I'm only going down to where my stitching starts because that's going to be stitched. That's going to be my opening. So I'm only going to there. And then I'm just going to, oops, I've got a thread that's caught somewhere. Do not go pulling that, okay? I'm not going to pull that because my thread's caught somewhere. I'm just going to take my bobbin carefully out and take my shuttle area out because I do not want to break anything. And take my hook out and see what I have just managed to do there. So never pull. If you're going to do a job, do it right. I can't see what I've done. Oh, there's going to be lots of fluff in there after today. Look at that. I've actually got that thread caught in my cutter. So don't go, wow, that is only from today. I cleaned that before class. So I'm going to now get my thread cutter. So I'm going to not do that. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to go into my thread cutter, tools, brush, move the thread cutter out. Oh, take your needle out, move the thread cutter out. Didn't go in, did it? Because I've actually got that caught in my thread cutter. Oh, I'm going to get in so much trouble.
Don't feed dogs.
Drop them. Drop your feed dogs, people. Then try it. Because I forgot. Gonna be in trouble. Oh, I've got thread jammed in there. Nothing is helping. I've stuffed up. I'm going to pull it from underneath. See if I can just disengage that thread I've got caught. And then I'm going to turn my balance wheel very, very carefully without damaging my machine. Where's the thread? There's the thread. I'm going to hold that thread. I'm going to very, very carefully. Nope, that did not work. I have never ever got thread caught in here. This is a first for me too. I'm going to have to probably get out the big guns in a minute. Oh no, go under there. Oh dear, I'm going to be in trouble. I've got another thread there. I've got a lot of thread and I haven't even jammed anything, so I don't know how. Oh, there you go. I have no idea what happened. There's one bit of thread. I'm going to have to get my tweezers and see if I can get the other bit of thread out. Can't see where it is. There it is. Naughty. I'm going to have to give my machine a very big clean. All right. Guess what? My machine's going to have to go into the hospital because my thread cutter's not working now. Oops. Not sure what I did or why it did that, but my thread cutter's not working, so I don't know what I've done. Anyway, we can still sew, but I will have to check that, get that checked. And I'll clean that out as soon as I've finished my bag, because that's incredible. That was cleaned and oiled before I started your class. Isn't that amazing? That just shows you how you've got to make sure that your machine is cleaned and oiled before you start. That is quite incredible. Right, we're going back to putting this foot on. And now, if anything like that happens, remember always rethread and make sure that everything's okay. Sew on a bit of scrap fabric. Do not keep sewing. Just check it. And re-put your bobbin in too. Don't just sew. I thought maybe my bobbin had run out. I have no idea what happened. So there. So just put your bobbin back in. Put your top back in. I'm just going to do a little bit of stitching on this here to make sure that everything is fine. Yep, that feels fine. Everything's sewing okay, so I'm going to carry on stitching. However, I will have to get my machine checked. I may know someone who does that. Right, so we've done the top. Now we're just going to stitch. Here's our lining. Just line our lining up. We're not going to sew that bit. We're just going to stitch this bit closed. I'm going to trim some of that off. Remember, I trimmed some off the other one as well. So just sew this down here. Right, so we have got a lining. We have got a outer. We've got a basin, and I'm going to cheat now, so you can watch me cheat. I'll just trim that so it's the same. Artistic license. Now this is going to go over my bag like this, correct? This is the inside of the bag. This is the binding, the bottom. You could sew a basin, but am I going to do that? No. I am just going to stitch that on, and at a later stage, oh, will I even do that? I might even, yeah, I will do it. So I'm just going to stitch this on here with a zigzag, and I can either double stitch it with a zigzag or I'll bind it. I will probably bind it because it'll just make it a nice finish, even though I'm the only one that's going to see it. So just when you're going to be doing this, because this is cheating 101, but you don't want to keep adding layers, so I actually think I won't bind it. I think I will just zigzag it. So I'm going to put on, I think I'm just going to put on my 1D foot and put my machine onto zigzag. and tell my machine I've got a 1D foot on. 1D, there we go. Put my dual feed on. Put my zigzag to really wide, about 5.7. Bring my zigzag a bit closer, and then I'm just going to zigzag around here. And then I might go round it again later on and make it a really nice sort of a satin stitch and leave it, because honestly, no one's going to see it. Okay, just make sure you've got everything clipped together. So it's a great way of cheating to finish off the base of a thick bag. Okay, so just zigzag, move everything out of the road and zigzag it on. And it's a great finish. I mean, I use it a lot on the outside of lots of things. And on the inside, how hard can it be? If I want it really nice and tidy, I will satin stitch it, make it closer. But just go around it first, and you can decide whether you want to bind it. But this is a wonderful way to cheat. So you made it, everyone, you made it. You got it made. And I now have 2 really cool bags. Promise I won't do another bag. I better not make that promise. I'm going to do another video probably just before Christmas on a cute way of doing a Christmas napkin, and I'll put it on my website. It's all over the net at the moment, so it's just a fun little one. Oh, do you know what? I think I'll just send you the link, because everyone's doing them, but they're really, really cute. So I'll send you the link on how to make a cool little Christmas napkin. Really, really easy, and you can make them to suit all the different family members with using different Christmas fabrics. We've got a cute little Christmas fabric at the moment with unicorns on it, and Santa riding a unicorn, which I think my granddaughters might like, so I might have to make them a napkin out of it, because it's just arrived in store. You know what, I think this is going to be a nice finish, and I'd probably go around it again. It's just, yeah, I go around it twice, and when you go around it twice it just gets thicker, but you don't want to make it too thick. So now you can pull all of this through to here, and all of this through to here, and the last thing you'll do is hand stitch that lining on to your, round the side of your zip, and you're all done. So it's a very cheaty way of doing it, but it's a great way to finish off. So let's see how we did with our base. We get close enough. The beauty of doing this is you can go back in and check it, because you've got all your opening done. Let's have a look. It's looking not too bad so far. You can see why it's good to have a nice firm base. Ah, it's great. I don't think I need to go and stitch any. Oh, yep, maybe just this bit. Can you see there? That bit needs to be a little bit closer. So I'll go back in, push it all through, and redo that bit. But that's about it. Oh, and push this up. Push your, because see your lining's still loose. So you can go in and push your facings out. That looks cute. And then at this stage, I'll just use my point turner and get that all sitting nice and flat. It's kind of cute. So quite a different bag than the other one. Where is it? That's what the other one looks like. So yeah, it's totally different type of bag. It's a lot softer. So the only thing I didn't do, oh well, I could use this for my keys anyway, couldn't I? Yeah, I could use this for my keys or for my thingy, so that's no big deal. I'll just leave that one on and use it for my keys or that. I don't know if I'll put another one on. Cut all your threads. So I think I'll go back in and I will just redo that bit, because if I don't it'll annoy me, because I can. And then all I have to do is, is turn that under and hand stitch that onto there. So it's a nice easy finish. But to get back into here, where was it? That little bit there, I need to put my hand on there So I know where it is, and go like this and re-stitch this piece. So it's once you've, I need the other foot, once you've actually stitched it, you can go through and check. You can always finish these little bits afterwards before you do your hand stitching. So just check everything, make sure you're happy with it, and I'm just going to redo, and I can see from here which part it is. Yep, right there where my seam is, because it's quite thick. So I'm just going to re-stitch that little one. And I can actually see my white stitching where I haven't quite got it close enough. Isn't it amazing that these machines can do such thick work? Like really, really, that's pretty impressive. And this is only a 90 needle, it's not even 100. I better not speak too soon, crunch. So go nice and slow, and I'm just getting it really close to that piping. I should poke more of it out, but that's all right. And then I'm just going to veer off there. Cool. Right, let's have another look. So these are how you finish off your little bits to make sure you're happy with it. Oh, that's so much better. Happy, happy, happy. Cut that thread now. Cool. So you can see that my job later on will be to hand stitch that. You can give it a little press. But you see how the front of the bag comes round to the back of the bag? Like that. So don't stress that your front's narrow, your back's narrow, because it's supposed to be. And then I'll hand stitch that together. Ooh. And there you have your other little bag. They're cool. Yeah, it needs a good press, but other than that, actually I'm quite pleased. I thought I had blown it by putting that piping around the bottom, but I actually really like the piping around the bottom now. But yeah, they look quite different, don't they? So either you're binding on the outside or you're piping around the bottom. So there you go. There's a couple of little backpacks done a little bit differently. And some of you will notice that this handle I had originally put on this bag because I'd left this one at home when I was at class teaching. So I transferred that bag handle back onto that one, this one on here. So I've just got a top stitch on there. So this was a pair of jeans here that I owned. This was another pair of jeans that I owned. And I've just used both pairs of jeans in the bag. So there you go. There is your backpack all done. I know it's a bit of a mission, but it's quite fun. And it will wear and wear and wear really, really well. Mainly because we've used that heavy quality giggly iron-on interfacing on the inside. So it's going to wear well. And this backpack can literally be pretty much rolled up, put in your suitcase, and when you go off travelling, you can just get it out and use it for your day-to-day use. So remember, you only travel around New Zealand if you're in New Zealand. If you're anywhere else in the country, stay safe. Have a Merry, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I hope next year in 2021 will be a lot safer for us all. So have a Merry Christmas.